I'm mad, I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm disappointed, but I'm very happy to be back with Oshin here to take us into game number 2. I'm hoping this will be a bit of more of a solid draft coming into this, because I do think, again, like Xayah should be the higher priority coming into this. For R7, you can see how good Slater had a performance on that. I just don't think the Kai'Sa can cut it when Xayah is still on the table.
No, I completely agree, and we'll see now what they want to try to go for. So far, it is the exact same bans coming out here for both sides.
Yeah, no difference.
6 for 6, and we'll see if the priority changes here for R7. They actually take the Rakan, so at least they're breaking up the lovers duo.
Yeah, I still think Xayah is just kind of the cream of the crop when it comes into this meta. Because a lot of the times it's like, okay, well, who can really fight up against her? She does well against Ezreal. She does well against the Kai'Sa. Like, a lot of the only people that you kind of struggle against is something like a lane bully and the Caitlyn. But we haven't really seen teams willing to bring that out, despite the fact that it did get buffed. So it is going to be a swap of the supports. We're going to get the Rel coming in for Pallet. You're still going to get that Xayah. So again, a very aggressive lane that you can look to play around as GAM if you want to. But to be honest, like, the top and mid lane played so well out for GAM. I wouldn't be surprised if them continue to focus on solo lanes.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like you're still looking at the same kind of issues right now as R7 for the moment. We'll see how the draft kind of changes if it does, but I mean, they're going to feel like they have to go back towards that Kai'Sa. It didn't really have the impact it needed to have in that first game. Now R7, do you change up the priority? Do you look for maybe a much more higher priority in the top lane or mid lane rather than just going for that J4?
Yeah, I think they'll probably just go back towards jungle. I thought they actually would take the J4, but they're going to swap it over towards the Lee Sin, because you do leave the opportunity now for Levi to actually get his hands on the Jarvan. And I think when you've got the setup there, it can absolutely fantastic to follow up with things with the Rel, but not actually going to be the case. It looks like Catty was like, hey, look, I'm super happy in the matchup we just had, so let's take this Syndra, let's try and ban away some of these mid lane champions and even just pinch that pool that bit more and try and put Miru onto something that's a bit more uncomfortable, because this is where we got to see the Ahri ban and that kind of stuff come in here to just get Miru off of his champions that he likes.
Absolutely, and I think as well, like we saw in the last one, you know, R7, they banned away a couple of different things in the jungle. They were happy to kind of take away things like the Lee Sin. They probably banned away the Jarvan this time, but I mean, the Wukong worked just fine for Levi. He was very, very happy with that. And again, like you mentioned, GAM now going back into that mid lane and saying, look, we've gotten the Syndra because we had a feeling they were going to ban it anyway. We'll ban away the mid lane picks and put Miru onto something he's just not comfortable on.
Yeah, and again, you're kind of hit the nail on the head. Get rid of the junglers on the opposite side, but Levi still at the Nocturne. You went towards the Wukong. I think you still have multiple different options that you can go for here. I think there is a question mark, though, whether you try to like ban away maybe the K'Sante from Ki in that top lane, because although Bong did go for the counter pick on the Gwen, I don't think he looked particularly comfortable. Surprised though to see the LeBlanc ban. I actually thought we'd get the Ahri ban, because even though LeBlanc, I believe, was open in the last game, Miru didn't actually end up going for it. Wanted to go towards the Silas instead, but we'll have to see when he knows that he's up against the Syndra. Maybe that's where the LeBlanc comes out.
That Kennen ban tells me R7 wants Renekton. That's exactly what that tells me. The Rumble's gone, the Kennen's gone. You would look for the K'Sante for GAM, you would imagine, but the Renekton is still up and available, and I feel like that's what Bong is trying to lean towards.
Yeah.
They're calling it.
Yeah, they're calling it, yeah. I do agree with you. I think they are looking at a Renekton, and again, it's kind of like, okay, well, you can't really go for the K'Sante, because if you do end up in that position, well, then you put yourself in an uncomfortable spot. By the way, Briar isn't open for this, so that's why I'm just not talking about it. But K'Sante is not able to deal with the Renekton, because the Renekton takes Demolish, just looks for turret plates, and then gets that lead regardless. So it kind of shuts that down. So I like the Jax pick, kind of saying, hey, look, well, if you want to go for the Renekton, it's not the end of the world to have a Jax up against this. And there we are, Miru going back towards, which I personally think is his strongest champion in the RA, so maybe this will give a bit of a stronger opposition for R7 in that mid-jungle.
We'll see what they want to try and put on that top side. It won't be blind. They will know exactly what's coming into it, and they take the K'Sante themselves. So, okay, they're happy with a weaker side lane for the moment in the early game, but definitely going to have a lot more presence in those team fights if they want to try and dive in onto everyone's face.
I like the Vi here for Levi. I think getting that lockdown on towards an Ahri or a Kai'Sa is always going to work out for you. Also, it's actually a pretty nice matchup into the Lee Sin as well, because you end up getting the shields on the Vi. You've got a lot of upfront burst damage. It can be pretty difficult for the Lee Sin to duel you if you're not low already when they initially go into that trade. So Levi should have a decent matchup in towards the jungle, and a very strong mid jungle as well.
Yes.
Like the point and click CC into the follow up stun is going to be so much damage for Levi and Catty.
That's the thing as well, because for GAM, they have multiple ways of catching out the Miru on the mid lane. Whereas the other side, it's kind of land the charm, or you're not really going to get much else out of it. That's kind of the whole setup here for R7 in those first few minutes. But again, they looked very bright in the first 5-6 of the first game. Then it kind of just didn't really do much with it. I want to see R7 be more proactive, but for GAM, I mean, they're very happy kind of letting this one go long again. Or I say long, it was only a 25-26 minute game, but I mean, they're very happy to let this kind of go standard because they know how comfortable they are when they are able to garner these leads.
Yeah, also when they get into team fights, it's just such an easy go button. So I do think a huge amount of this game is going to be defined by this mid jungle. Again, like if you can get in nice and early as a Lee Sin Ari, that's a lot of damage. Vice versa as well for a Vi and a Syndra. So it kind of feels like whoever gets control over mid can then have a lot of power point on the map to lean into the to bot side, lean into top, like just have that advantage in that jungle matchup, which will mean so much coming into this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, R7, they find themselves at the edge of a cliff. They need to step up and away from the edge, or they're just going to fall and be knocked out of Worlds 2023. GAM want to push them over that cliff. GAM want to put them in the ground and continue on their way with as little resistance as possible. Game 1 went to plan. We'll see how Game 2 goes, but it's going to be all to play for. R7, the Latin America representatives need to put everything on the pitch. They need to just give me something. They can't let this one go like Game 1 did.
Yeah, and I mean, look, MSI was a 2-1 in favor of R7, so they did give one across the GAM, but we'll have to see if they're going to be able to manage the reverse sweep, or if it is just going to be a case of, well, GAM are able to run away with this one. So excited to see what R7 are going to be able to achieve here. Already, I think the comfort that Miru gets on this area is going to mean a huge amount for him, and I'm excited to see what he can try and achieve on this pick.
See what he can connect up here, but of course you can connect your League of Legends account with Prime Gaming to grab the exclusive experimentation emote. No real experimenting coming out here today, and kind of when I was actually talking to our EVS guy Arthur.
Yeah.
I was asking him like what crazy picks he wanted to see. He was saying a Mumu support, which did come out in WQS. He actually didn't say support. He said jungle, but it came out in support, and he says he kind of wants to see Shaco. Feels like Shaco could be a bit of tech.
So
we see
all
later.
I'm saying is, Kanavi has
I
played
mean,
Shaco
you're
in the
not
past,
wrong.
and little tidbit for when we move on is also practicing in solo queue.
Ooh,
So all I'm
you
saying
keep that
is-
under your cap
all
now
I'm
for
saying
next
is-
week.
Shaco Orianna has become a bit of a combo that is real dumb because you can't see the Orianna ball in the Shaco when he goes invisible. So this is just a
Yumi
potential
all over
combo we
again.
might
Yumi
see.
Twitch all
Yeah.
over again. So dumb, but look, we'll see. Maybe we'll see it this weekend. Maybe we'll see it in Swiss. I don't know. Hopefully JDG, but I know our EVS guy Arthur will be definitely looking out for that as we go through the stages. But bit of an engaging bot side. Not really much else to really talk about. Again, with the Rakan and the Rel, we saw it in the last game. They're going to trade back CCs, and then they're just going to go back to, kind of shake hands. All right, we're farming.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is going to be a case of just trying to get control of the wave as well, because you can see there Paladin is trying to use the crash down to also hit the wave at the same time. So he's kind of getting a double up for his book where he goes in here, able to get the level up now as well. So going to be able to zone Seo and lines away. And I think that should kind of continue for a large portion of this, where you are just trying to play aggressive into this bot lane matchup, open up opportunities for a Levi to make stuff happen. Odie, though, 3 camp into mid. Can he try and make something happen here?
He's at level 3 from Miru before we can really go for it. Very difficult to kind of get into position here.
Flash charm.
Yeah, it has to be a flash charm. Maybe they'll look for it. But yeah, I mean, Kati is well used to these kind of situations and just says, nope, I know what this Lee Sin's going to try and do, so I'm just going to let you think you've got me and then just walk away.
You'll see, though, Odie will spot out, though. Okay, all of top side has been cleared out, so Vi is going to be on this bottom half of the map, so you do need to be careful if you're going to be Seo or Lions. Immediately, you can also see Miru starting to lean towards that top side of his lane, not giving any opportunity for Levi to try and have any sort of counterplay. But Kati should actually be able to crash. Well, I was going to say should be able to crash this play, but it's in a bit of an awkward spot at the moment.
Knock-up does get landed here on the pallet, who takes a fair chunk of damage, and he knew with that passive proc being coming up now for Seo, had to flash away. So good trade here from R7 in the early game in the bot side. A lot better of a trade back than they did in game number 1.
Yeah, still though, you're now in a position where you are quite far forward in the lane and Levi is down here. So this is where it can be the downside of taking that aggressive trade. Slater and Pallet will be able to freeze this wave thanks to the fact that Vi is here. Even Seo, like, he's gone for a quick reset as well. So you're going to end up in a position where Slater can slow push this wave out, build up more of a gold lead, and then get a better back on this, or sorry, better buy on his next back. So although it looks nice initially, it kind of puts them in a bit of an awkward spot here as this lane plays out.
See the catch out Levi. Both junglers now in mid. Neither kind of getting caught out. Now they do. There's the charm coming in. It's a 3v2 at the moment. Levi trying to see if he can get over the wall. Good flash, good Q. And Audie's just going to walk himself away with a little bit of damage on the backside of this. So again, R7 in the early game having decent trades coming up against GAM.
Oh, just wide on that one. He has very little mana though, so you can see Kiaya trying to see if he can go for these trades, but with the wave as big as it is, he has to be careful about how far forward he does go.
No one wants to eat their biscuits just yet. They're keeping them for after dinner. They're going to get the knockback. It's a level 5 for Bong. There's going to be the E popped in there. The CC does get buffered, and now they may look for a bit of a trade. Another flash, but still no kill. R7 looking a little bit more comfortable so far in this early stage and getting much more advantages as a whole.
Yeah, you can see there, nicely done by Bong. Was able to deny the CC coming through from Kiaya and even managed to get the knockback onto him as the counter strike is trying to hit. So good trade. Has the Graspian Dime, which is slowly topping him up in this lane as well. But you can see, regardless of that trade going in favor of Bong, there's still a very big lead going over in that top side. You'll be able to back here's Kiaya, pick up your Sheen, and suddenly these trades become way more difficult for Bong to really take because you're just constantly every time moving in to auto attack and you proc that passive. You're just getting hit with a Sheen proc every single time.
And I love what we're seeing from R7 in this early stage. It's cool. We got the flash in off the jungler. We got the flash top. We got priority bot. Immediately turn that into an objective because you know with the way Levi was pathing, he's not really going to be on this bot side, or even if he is, it's not going to be very optimal for his pathing. So it definitely feels like they are going for the right decisions for the moment, as we can just see now a little bit of a trade back in this top side. The all-out now available alongside that Grandmaster's Might, and you see now Bong just wants nothing to do with this. He may have to use his flash, but has a dash and should just be fine.
Yeah, Garrett already used his leap strike to get into position there, but it does mean you're very low under this tower. And one of the things is, well, we've just taken Dragon on bot side. I actually don't know where Levi is if I'm on R7, so that's where you can see, despite the fact that Levi's on bot side, Bong is playing very safe in this lane, even getting a ward down into his own tri-brush just beside him to make sure that he's not going to be any sort of issues if Levi shows up.
Well, thankfully for Bong, he should be able to clean up all these minions and get himself back up into some kind of equal CS setup. Audie not quite level 6 just yet, waiting for those junglers to really hit it. Not really going to find anything from there. Miru almost getting his sweeper to catch out Kati for a little bit of a trade with a charm, but wasn't going to be. Now do they look for something in this bot side? Again, Audie would love to have his level 6 here to get that kickback on the Slater, who does not have access to the Featherstorm.
Yeah, I mean, the trade pattern there is actually shoved the wave, though, hang on.
And the Q, they go in, flash burned there by Slater. Pallet takes a fair chunk of damage as well. Not only the flash, but the ghost as well by Slater. And everything gets burnt here on the GAM bot lane.
Yeah, Slater was trying to play up towards the top side of this lane because he knew Leon's was in the brush, so wanted to try and keep as much distance there, but actually means that he sets up if Odie is ever ganking the lane because it means he can land that Q over the wall. So a bit unfortunate. We'll have to burn his summoner spells to get away from that, so nicely done by Odie. And kind of just realizing, hey, Levi was going to be on that top side, so we have the numbers advantage here. Let's see if we can make the plays happen. And that was something we missed out a lot at the kind of mid-portion of game number 1.
That's the thing, it's all positives coming out here for R7, but they are falling behind in terms of the gold. They are not getting the same resources. You can see kind of slight CS leads pretty much everywhere, to be perfectly honest, except for maybe mid lane, but those are the little things, stat and plates, that are kind of working against them. And yes, the flashes are good, the plays are solid, but they're not leading to actual tangible advantages.
Yeah, I think this, though, with the Rift Herald coming up is where we're going to see that change, right? Already you can see Slater's on his way up towards this Rift Herald, whereas when you look at Sayo, he's just kind of going to try and stick to this bot side. So I'm curious to see if, as Sayo shows on this bot wave, if they can change their idea, but...
Okay, the E's down now, but should have plenty of time to kind of reset that one there. As I say that, I can see the cooldown is 10 seconds or more, so they're maybe not so easy to get that buff back.
I mean, still Kiaya is getting good trades with that Sheen proc. Now as they go in, Bong needs to be careful. Wants to try and get the knockback, but here we go.
He used his ultimate there to try and maybe move away. He's getting some decent movement from it. Levi, the flash kick there, gets him underneath the tower. The last shot shall kill him off. And finally, R7 are rewarded for their efforts. They get themselves first blood.
So well played by Bong. Interrupts with the unstoppable and able to turn that play around at the end of the day. Really nice stuff. Now, Pallet is up here on this top side, but not really sure if you can try and get much more done. No jungler here available for GAM. He kind of needs to back away, but Odie, and also having the Irons here is going to set things up absolutely beautifully. So, bit of a weird play from GAM in trying to set that one up, but unfortunately they just go that bit too far forward and it cost them.
Cost them a little bit. You can see the idea there from GAM as well, because the buffering was down on the side of the Cassante. They were like, okay, now we can go for it. And it was immediate flash. And honestly, great reactions from Bong to flash, go into the all-out, so he knows he can buffer the CC anyway. But again, like you said, just kind of great outplay from R7 to really make that kill come home. And again, just great to see them kind of getting rewarded for their efforts. They are still a little bit behind, but with that Dragon and that Rift Herald confirmed, the neutral objectives are starting to stack.
And this is where it's starting to become an issue again for R7, where it's like, okay, well let's say we got control over that top side, and then we have the Rift. Sorry, issues for GAM because R7 have the Rift Herald, and they're going to be able to try and play up towards like where Odie is. They got the kill on the top side, which is making the Sheen now come through for Bong as well. So your top side is in a much better spot. And now I think it's just a case of trying to get this Rift Herald down onto Seo and lines, because realistically, if you can try and get this bot lane shoved in, you'll be able to get the turret plate for yourself. And that's why you're looking at Levi already moving down here to try and just cover for the play that R7 are attempting to set up here.
Lovely little ward there just behind the tri-brush for GAM, just to kind of maybe spot out any kind of movement there from Audi. Does not have flash, but will have kick in a couple of seconds. No 6 here for Lions, so they know that Audi is here. As I mentioned, there is a ward that just spotted him out, so they're looking for something, but they're not going to be able to get it. The Shattering Strike does end up missing as well. As we can see there, Levi makes his presence known in the mid lane. So we're kind of, again, hitting a bit of a lull. It's pretty even in terms of the gold, and with a Rift Herald in the back pocket, R7 are going to be feeling pretty good to make something happen, but where? Where do you want to see them put down this objective and try and crack open a turret?
Yeah, again, I think it has to be around the spot lane. Like, just try to keep control there is going to be important. We're already saying, look, Slater has a ton of control when it comes to his range advantage. Leon's going to be...
Oh, they're going to flash in, TP as well. They're going to try and put down all the CC and absolutely burn the Rakan down. Scatter the Weak does not land, and that means the last of the CC isn't going to land onto Seo. But mid lane is now the target. You go and commit everybody there. You can see Audi already setting that one up to try and drop down the Rift Herald.
Yeah, they're just going to end up trading this for Dragon, but you do need someone to still clear out this Rift Herald in mid lane, because if that sticks around, you're going to end up with a couple of extra turret plates. It looks like Kati kind of realizing that, going to move up there to cover. Again, Bong, Kaya going toe-to-toe, but the fact that you've now got the Chain Vest and the Sheen means these trades aren't as easy for Kaya anymore.
That's 3 plates as well going over to Miru, so yes, he's a little bit behind in terms of the completing of the items, but I mean, everything was kind of used in that last fight. You don't have the cease and desist, you don't have the Magnet Storm, so there was not really much of a kind of a counterplay to catch him as he's overextended.
I want to see exactly how GAM are going to try and wrestle control back of this game, because I think a huge amount of it is going to be a case of like trying to find plays with Vi, like down to that bot side, but they need to try and get a little bit more off it. This is just a quick replay of, again, beautiful stuff coming through from Bong, and then Odie here, kick flash right underneath the tower, just everyone outplaying GAM at every step of the way in that equation. But I do think you got to try and kind of take that on the chin as GAM and try and figure out how to turn this back around. Kaya has the Divine Sunder up in that top side alongside the Divine Sunder for Levi, so an opportunity to maybe hit a double whammy up towards Bong, like get Kaya into a position where he can once more kind of escalate how quickly he can take over against Bong in that lane. And also I think just the fact that Slater and Pallet have been such a strong point for GAM all season long, and now we're looking at them kind of going, well, they never get the resources that they should going through from Levi. I think this is a moment where you do need to try and fix that, because this is a matchup that can punish very, very well if you're able to set up with the ultimate. You get the ultimate from Vi, lockdown from Pallet to follow, and things should just be an easy pickup there if you can make it happen.
We'll wait. I don't expect us to see much action for the next minute or so, just because no real objective. 2 minutes to the Herald, 3.5 until the Dragon. Teams basically even on gold. Everyone's just kind of happy out to farm for the moment. 1 minute till the plates do drop. We'll see where everyone kind of stands in terms of their lane economy. But I mean, first items being completed across the board. Kaya might look for a bit of a move here. The all-out underneath the tower, and as you can see, Kaya taking a fair chunk of damage. Does have the lead strike to get himself back at a wave, but he gets put up just once more, and this is a lot closer than the top laner of GAM really wants it to be. You've got the Vi coming up. The wave has been cleared away, though. Do they want to go for a fight? Yes, they do. They're going to try and tank it up and take him down. Really well done there by GAM, knowing exactly how to take down the Cassante.
GAM are trying to respond to any sort of invade from Odie on the bottom side is in response to that play. But it looks like it might just be a kick in behind Kati. Flash is available for Odie. Spotted out on ward. Pallet is here. Can they keep their mid laner safe?
Gonna have to push him back and lose a couple of CS, but it's not really the worst in the world. But with Pallet kind of playing between both lanes, it means they're going to try and engage straight away on the Slater, who flashes and gets himself away with the Ghost as well. Audi just doing a quick rotation there. make sure that he's able to kind of make sure he keeps away. Lion needs to be very careful. Magnetstorm comes in, the flash scatter of the week comes out, and there is this unleash power to make sure they get the kill. Really well done there, and GAM are done playing nice. They want to get this a 2-0.
It's looking very much like game number 1. Early setup from R7 looking good, but GAM finding their way back into it, turning around these plays from R7. And there's your MasterCard lane economy, Oshin. Gold galore for Kiaya. They're massive, actually surprising amount of gold for Paladin in that bot lane. And it feels like, again, a lot of this game for R7 rests on Miru. Can he perform like he does on his own?
I think that gold actually came from this play because he gets the kill, which kind of swaps the kind of the momentum.
I mean, the fact Slater got that flash was incredible. Just about able to eke away from lines, then getting the turnaround, flash in from Kati here after a great engage from Paladin. And I think the idea here from Odie was, oh, Miru's over the wall, I'm safe, there's nobody there. But hey, Levi easily able to follow up, and it's 2 quick kills going over, and you're also able to keep that tower safe. Really good play from GAM there.
It's 1,000 gold now lead. It's coming up towards that second Rift Herald, which you can see now everyone's starting to move around. If they can get this and the next dragon, you start to see a bit of deja vu from game number 1. You start to feel like GAM are just that little bit more composed in these situations. Miru gets scattered into the weak. He's going to have to flash away after his ultimate because he knew just how genuinely close he was to death.
And Levi wasn't quite able to connect with the Q over the wall, which meant that the CC chain didn't land, which gave Miru that opportunity to flash. But Odie's not in the same problem.
Oh, Slater gets caught as well, so that's Slater taken out before the fight can really begin. You're going to see Odie using the taxi known as the Rift Herald. Bomb goes all out, flash by Levi as he gets himself over the wall. Kiaya jumps in, and you can see Odie jumping back out. You do have a flash available for Kiaya, so he's just going to try and be a nuisance for the moment. They jump in, but the knockback is good. There's the Magnetstorm to come out, and finally Kiaya gets himself out. Kati finally joining in onto the fray. It is all over the place as Kiaya picks up a double. Now you can see them trying to look for this one. Seo and Miru trying to just kite this one out as best they can, but the shattering strike shatters Seo's dreams of being the carry, and its unleashed power is almost coming back up as well. They might be able to try and go for this one more time, and they should be able to confirm the kill here onto Miru. He had no flash, he had no way out, and they are getting everything here on GAM.
Kiaya was doing the hokey pokey in this Rift Herald pit, in, out, and R7 are shaking all about. They didn't want to dance at all on this one. They thought they'd be able to find the pick, but instead it's GAM who come out on top. And you can see here, okay, we're going to try and get the pick on Slater. The charm lands, the lockup comes through. Great pick to start things off. But the problem was, Odie had overextended in towards the jungle. The follow-up here from Kiaya is interrupted, and Odie manages to survive that a little bit longer. Watches Kiaya. Okay, so gets Bong manages to knock Levi away. So Kiaya goes into the pit, and then is like, wait, no, everyone's gone out. So now he's at the back of the pit, counter-struck to keep himself safe, as then Levi goes in, but the Bong knockback interrupts Levi, so Kiaya flashes out. Then he's like, wait, we win this, and we go back in. So then he starts to fight again. Seo can't really get into this fight because he knows Leap Strike is available for Kiaya, so he leaps out of the pit again, to then walk back into the pit, to then stay at the back of the pit to keep himself safe as the rest of the GAM end up following up beautifully here with Miru, unfortunately, getting clipped by the stun, and then with the knockback, it's doom and gloom for the R7 side.
I mean, for GAM, though, it is elation. They are feeling so good right now, and there's your team fight damage powered by AWS. I mean, the Slater did nothing, but he didn't have to do anything. When you've got a Vi doing this amount of work, 3,000 damage at this stage in the game, it's just not needed. Like, it just feels so broken. But, I mean, Levi just having a great series overall.
He definitely is. And again, he's down on this bot side to try and keep Bong off of the tower, so setting up well for Slater. R7 going to try and respond by pushing in mid. I think Caddy has to be very careful. I don't think he realizes how many members of R7 are actually up on this top side.
He's going to know now that they're no real defending this turret, and he does give fair respect to the side of R7 as they do confirm that one there. It's a 2,500 gold lead for GAM right now, 2 dragons to 1. They also have a Rift Herald in Levi's back pocket, or his satchel, as Lyric likes to call it, because he doesn't like the back pocket. But
what's wrong with a back pocket?
I don't know. He had a real thing about it. He's like, why is it always a back pocket? He's like, why can I not have the Rift Herald in a satchel? But that's what I was saying. Well, yeah, he was like, why can't I not keep it in a satchel? And I was like, you can do whatever you want. You know?
You can have it in a cross bag. You can do whatever you want.
Backpack if you want, like, or backpack even. But now Levi going to try and make more presence felt in the spot side as Bong. He's going to try and delay this one a little bit. Levi may have gone a little bit too far forward. No flash for him, so going to use the ultimate there onto Miru as he TP'd in. And actually a lot of damage. The unleashed power, not quite enough, but he's ticking down. He's got so much damage there with the Leandri's Anguish. Not quite able to kill him off. Oh my god, it looks like the screen is glitching. But while that's all been happening, Bong does end up getting taken out, and it's ended up being a 5v4 now. Everyone's in this bot side. Slater feeling confident, pops the ghost, gets charmed immediately, and into a secondary charm. He has no way of saving himself. Cleansed by Sayo keeps him alive for the moment. Pallet gets the Hex Flash forward. And everyone just kind of backs themselves away. It's a little bit scrappy. R7 will not be happy with going 1-for-1 as they did look to try and turn that play.
Yeah, I mean, R7 tried to turn it, but GAM, again, able to separate themselves out. Levi uses the Unstoppable to get himself out of dodge, and they're able to follow up nicely on that one. And again, this has kind of been the story of a lot of this series, is R7 trying to make a play and GAM actually either turning it back, getting something back in their favor. And I know that one obviously started off with GAM attempt to make the play, but it is, again, it's like R7 saying, hey, we can turn this. We have first move from mid. We have the opportunity to make this happen, but GAM kind of outplaying it a little bit here. So Bong gets knocked out of the way. He was trying to get the knockback for Levi with the ultimate, but that doesn't really work out until now. But at this stage, you're still 3v3, but Kati's got a ton of damage, Kiaya's got a massive amount of damage, and Odie just can't really bring enough to the fight, and Slater and Pallet then show up, but Miru, this was genius. Like, hides in the bush, drops down a ping to make sure he won't be spotted, and they're able to get the charm then to get at least a kill back in their favor.
I want to know how much HP Miru had. I need to know how much HP Miru had at the end, because it literally looked like 0, and I think it was almost, I'm going to say single digits, but at the end of it all, it's still 3,500 gold lead. It's still GAM getting everything they want and dropping the Shirley in the mid lane, getting that turret confirmed for themselves. And this is the thing, like, you look at the way R7 are building, you know, you've got the Everfrost from Miru. Yes, he does a little bit of damage, but it's not going to be the same kind of power that you get with something like a Syndra having that Leandri's Anguish alongside their AD carry.
Yeah, a huge portion of what I want to see, though, at the moment is, look, you're going to get the resets. I want Jax to move down onto this bot lane and make sure that he can get push. I want to see them get full mid control and then push that in towards the top side control as well, and then start to set up vision here, all in this quadrant. So then you can actually be in a position where, okay, now GAM can set up for Dragon, or sorry, for Baron. They're going to be in an okay position to actually try and threaten over towards the Dragon. That's going to be up soon as well. But it's just, once you can guarantee that mid priority, you're in a really good spot to make sure that you're okay on the map to contest, well, one, some vision for Baron to make sure R7 aren't going to try and burst that down, but two, also be able to then fall back in towards this bottom side and keep control up for the Dragon.
So far, GAM looks like they're doing almost exactly what you talked about right there. Pushing in as a 4-man into mid, pushing top lane with Kiaya so he gets priority there. And maybe moving in towards it. They got a little bit of good vision there around the Baron pit, but nothing too exceptional. Deep Strike comes down as Kiaya just kind of looking to confirm this turret.
I do think with a minute to Dragon, this is actually probably more correct. I didn't cop the Dragon was only up in a minute's time, so this is actually the correct call, is basically Kiaya away from objective, because he'll have his TP back up in a moment's time, and then you'll be in a position to collect Dragon. That's about to spawn. I would prefer more members in mid, though, to just guarantee the push here, because you can see a lot of R7 are now able to clear out that wave, and they'll be able to get mid priority, which forces GAM to then fall back to their tier 2, and they won't be able to commit to this as hard.
Well, Dragon spawning. We'll see if Miru can get out with as little HP as he did last time. It was 5, by the way. 5 HP the last time, yeah. So it was as close can be. Thank you so much to our EVS operator, Arthur, for confirming that for me. But now we come back in 5v5 in this mid lane. Bong's already TP'd in. We have a full palette, excuse the pun, of summoners available for everybody.
This is what I was talking about. R7 get mid prio, they move into river, they're clearing out the vision, and for GAM, this is not where you want to be. Watch Odie. He's the guy that wants to try and get on towards Slater, and with the Infernal Rift, there's so many different angles of attack.
Yeah, you can see Lions just moving around, putting Pallet away from the fight. The Unstoppable comes in, they jump in onto Minoru, and they're trying to burst him down. Knock up there and charm onto the 2 carries, and all out comes out, but Minoru is already dead. It's going to be the mid laners, not quite traded just yet, because the Vi comes in to save the day. That's Cleanse in as Kiaya gets shut down, but look at Slater and the rest of GAM pushing in, pushing forward. Sayo quite literally playing on the edge of his health bar. Lion says, go on without me, you need to survive, but Slater is his name, and he slays him down. Double kill in here for GAM's AD carry as they look to completely take control of this game.
They want to chase Odie out of this jungle area, get back over towards the Dragon and pick that one up. Kati has already moved in towards the mid lane to keep that wave pushed in as well. Beautiful stuff from GAM on that play. Kiaya doing a ton of work in the back line. You'll see here, Levi is about to get charmed off of that flick back, so goes, right, we got to go in. Pala flashing forward, Kiaya flashing forward, immediately gets on towards Miru. And at that stage, Kiaya now, well, he's got easy access to Sail. Everyone, Bong, trying to get on towards the back line to answer for the play is totally fine, but unfortunately, it's just, you've got nothing left in the tank to try and keep this Jax off Sail. Flash, cleanse, and the ultimate all burnt before this, so he's just running for the hills, doing whatever he can to try and get away from this. But Slater flashing forward to finish that one.
And I think the big thing for GAM is that the way they fight these fights is just so enabling for Slater. He used all of his ultimate, or he didn't even use his ultimate, but uses all of his abilities so aggressively, and it does feel like if R7 can put pressure on the AD carry of GAM, that's when they have a bit of an advantage to get into these fights.
It's also just how coordinated they are. Now Kiaya might need to get out of here solo though.
Not quite landing the Sonic Wave, and Audi doesn't feel confident to really go for that one after the fact as the rest of GAM were coming in to be a bit of a cavalry to their top laner there. All four other members moving themselves up. But I mean, look at the stopwatches. Like, GAM know it's one good fight away from them basically winning this game. As you can see now, Lions tries to get a little bit fancy with the footwork, gets himself over the wall, but the leap strike into the counter strike. They're going to have to use a charm. They're going to have to use everything they possibly can to keep their the support alive. And he just can't. Sayo, he's in no man's land and he's being caught and killed. There's the unleashed power, and now you've lost your AD carry. Can you take the fight after the fact? That is the question. The kick there on the Kiaya does mean he goes down. The charm is good to get down onto Levi. They're going to have to try and back themselves away. Nice again with the scat of the week from Kati. But they've lost themselves. They still have a jungler. They still have themselves an opportunity, but GAM, they have total control.
GAM are going to move over towards this Baron. Great pick from them. Again, turning it around what R7 were trying to at least get something back, but it's now going to be Baron up. Yeah, he's too far away. Like, this is going to go down too quickly, I think, before he gets here. Bong and Miru need to make a play to slow this.
Pallets got of the week and have the flash over the wall and to see if they can maybe make this one work. They're getting decent damage. Bong flashes away, but again, for R7, that's fine. That's okay. They stopped the Baron from going down. That's all they wanted to do. Yeah,
and again, because Odie's now here, they don't want to try and follow up on this. They have to be careful, though, because with R7 coming off of resets, it could be R7 who immediately turn on to Baron.
They have to.
And that's exactly why they're trying to slow these retreats, so then they can be the ones to start it up. TP is available for Kiaya.
Flanks.
Great warp spot.
Yeah, flanks coming in. They know that pink ward is there. The charm doesn't land. And now they're going to get another scat of the week. Kati has been insane with these CC chains. And now they can really look for the fight. The all-out comes out as Bong looks to jump on the Kati. Double stopwatch is used. And now they can really re-engage. Sayo just has nowhere to go, nowhere to be. And I mean, R7, they had to go for it. They do lose Kati in the back of it. The all-out from Bong did work out, but he's got no HP. He can't re-engage this.
Odie's still in the area, though. You can see him. He's on that top plate, pushing now. That's why Lions has been sent up. Or, sorry, Pallet has been sent up to try and deal with them. But what can he do? Kiaya now says, no way are you getting in the back door here.
You do not have to go home, mate, but you can't stay here. That is the most bouncer front line I've ever seen there from Kiaya and Pallet. They were not letting Odie into the Baron Club. And that is going to be the Red Bull Baron power play going over to GAM as they look to push themselves to a 2-0.
I mean, really, GAM have shown up here. Again, this is their revenge from MSI, and unfortunately we couldn't get it yesterday coming through for the son of Junja. But here for GAM, it looks like revenge might be on the cards. Again, the loser here is knocked out entirely from the play-ins tournament. And if R7 fall here, it'll be the LLA, unfortunately, not able to continue forward.
Gotta find something, but it just feels like every turn they go for it. It does come down to small little mistakes. Like, if they clear those wards before they go into that, then they don't get the flank, they don't get caught out. It's little things like that. It is, unfortunately, the way League of Legends work. It's a game of small mistakes. It's not about, massive misplays, and sometimes it's an outplay, but it really does feel like it's those small little moments that do define a series. As charm down, but crash down here from Pala keeps him safe. And I mean, you have to fight for this dragon in a minute's time. You can't let this Infernal Soul go over against the Syndra. It's over.
But again, the Syndra pick has been doing so much value against R7. You heard on the desk, we keep seeing R7 going for these front-to-back fights, which is perfect for Syndra. Although this one, a bit more spread out.
Oh, they're going to look to try and fully engage. They're going to flash in, scatter the weak. Slater there to try and take everybody else out, and they're all being pinched in. Everyone being jumped around on top of this one here. The feathers fly. And that is going to be Sayo getting dropped down one more time. He hasn't been allowed to play the game. And while that's all been happening there, just jumping onto Bong, who does go all out and tries to turn this one around. He is a Cassante, and he will be able to get one kill. But I mean, it's a consolation prize at the best possible scenario. and that's going to be the inhibitor towers going down. I don't know if they're going to be able to end the game just yet, but I mean, it's total control here from GAM.
Yeah, I mean, GAM again set up a beautiful pick. I have to give a shout out to Bong though, not even just for the kill. Like every single time that these fights have been happening, he's been desperately trying to keep his team safe, but he's just not been able to do so. Even that one, as Miru goes down, Bong is trying to keep him safe with jumping onto the back line, but yeah, Odie, there's no way into here.
Yeah, he's got to be a hero.
Now there's a way into there.
There's a way in there. Pallet went away. They have to go in. He has to go for it. He doesn't try and do it in the end. I feel like he had to try, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a game of inches, but let's have a look at this replay.
I want to watch Bong here because, again, like, Miru does get caught here, but Bong immediately jumps onto Catty with the Unstoppable, which means that Catty actually can't follow up to get the Unleashed power onto Miru. But the problem is that everyone at GAM is just too far ahead. Slater is in the perfect position to follow up on that one. You can't really do anything. And even in the 1v2, the fact you still managed to come out with a kill here says a lot about what Bong is attempting to achieve. But GAM, unfortunately, the rest of the team is just way too far ahead.
Yeah, and honestly as well, you saw that the Rakan went in with Bong as well, so it meant that you had no kiting. You had no one to kind of delay the inevitable kind of push in there for the rest of R7's carries, so it just feels like they're just not going to be able to kind of come out of it. 10,000 gold now for GAM. And an Infernal Soul as well. You can see just a slight combination, enough to bring down Audi to 2/3 of his HP, and that's before the power gets unleashed.
And that's even before you have things like Rabadons or Void Staff even added into the equation. So, and again, with the changes we saw to Syndra, she scales relatively well now, because again, she's going to pick up a ton of AP off her passive and everything. So, I mean, this Syndra is definitely no pushover at the moment. Odie standing tall for a short while in front of that tower before he goes, actually, you know what, I don't want to be.
It's like when you try to start a fight and you realize the guy is much bigger than you, and you're just like, all right, I'm going to be the bigger man, but they got to go for a long last fight, but immediately Bong gets CC'd up and there's nothing you can do. Kati goes golden with the stopwatch. Double kill comes in here for Slater. Maybe he wants a little bit more. They're going to try and get Seo on this backside, trying to do as best he possibly can. There's Levi moving forward. It's a triple kill here for Slater. It's a quadra kill for Slater. Penta kill for Slater. He gets himself right back on the map, and it's a league of pentakills here in the play-ins.
The Death said they wanted to see more from Slater. They wanted to see Slater step up. They wanted to see GAM step up. And with a 2-0 win and a pentakill to boot, the VCS will guarantee themselves one more opportunity at qualifying